Hey guys, welcome to Faz Radio. Let's get started. So we're saying the same thing then.
Sort of. We just don't agree on how to get there.
I don't care how you get there. I know that the sky's the limit as far as the ways that you can get there. That's not what I'm worried about. What I'm trying to take you to task on is when I hear you giving very specific situations, saying, "Well, how are you gonna live off 150 Gala a day?" Well, you're using a variable as a reason, and the biggest thing you're leaving out is how much is Gala worth? Well,
it's not going to be worth very much. 50 cents.
I
do know. There's 50 billion tokens, and then they're going to add a token for each game, which is going to dilute that even more. You're going to be lucky to get 25, 30 cents out of it.
You know what? What really gets me when people start getting on the market cap of coins is they start making assumptions as to, they might say, well, oh my God, Gala would have to have as much market share as Ethereum right now. Yeah, okay, maybe it does. Well, if the world expands in the way that I'm thinking, in the way that I'm hoping, then Ethereum is going to have a whole lot higher market cap than it is now, like orders of magnitude different. And so, yes, Gala can easily get Ethereum's current market cap. That's because so little of the world is using crypto right now that if you were to plug in a major part of the world, Gala could be worth a whole lot more. The Gala could be worth, in my opinion, $10. I should probably post a link to that really cool market cap tool that somebody posted on our Discord.
Yeah, that was really cool. I played around with that for probably 40 minutes.
I'll post that. It's basically, this is a page. Do you know the link for that, or do you know what it's named? Basically, you can plug in a coin and compare it to another coin, and it'll show what the market cap, what the price would be if it were at the market cap of this other coin.
It's the coinperspective.com.
Coinperspective.com. And so I looked at it and I plugged in some assumptions, and frankly, any coin that I'm investing in right now, that I'm betting on, not investing in, any coin that I purchase and keep, I really honestly I compare it to the current market cap of Ethereum, because Ethereum is an ecosystem that is being used by a fair number of people around the world. And I say a fair number of people because even all the people using Ethereum, there's most of the world has no effing clue what the hell Ethereum is. So it's being used to some degree, fairly, by a fair amount of people. So it's being used in a lot of different ways. So I think if Gala was used to its potential, yeah, easily the current level of Ethereum, and Ethereum would just be, a whole lot higher. Obviously, Gala is not, in my opinion, a gaming coin, is not going to replace coins like Bitcoin, unless you start gamifying society. In a Ready Player One world, gaming coins might just be worth more than regular payment coins. So it really depends on the social demographics and the politics of the future world. So yes, I think it's possible, and it's a good bet, in my opinion, to buy Gala, because that stuff, I think they want to help that stuff go about. The question is, for them, who's going to be the ultimate winner? Does another company come along and buy them out, or does some other company like Axie? Axie is great for its one game, but as we've seen with some businesses, Axie could probably branch out and have, Axie first-person shooter games or something eventually. They could become, because they're a name brand in a way, they could really capitalize that and completely own the space if they play their cards right. In which case, it's probably a good idea to buy some Axie.
Well,
only $100 per or something right now.
I mean, I'm going to rephrase.
Oh, that. Good. You're learning.
Yeah. When I look at it, I see Ethereum is nothing more than a shit coin at this point. Most of what is built on as ERC20 tokens is only an ERC20 token because there was no other option. So the reason I think Ethereum is a shitcoin, I think it's a shitcoin that'll be around for a while. I think it'll probably even hit 10,000 very reasonably, conservatively speaking. But the problem is that that I see is that all of these projects and all of these tokens and all of this stuff runs on that because there was nothing else. You have Algorand, you have Cardano, you have VeChain, you have 10,000 different blockchain companies popping up. And if you haven't noticed, I've kind of noticed this, and I was going to bring it up to you in a side chat here very shortly anyway, because I want to do a show on it. I've been noticing, and I don't know if it's maybe just because of the way that I research or whatever, that's what I want to talk about before getting into it, but I've kind of been noticing that most of these new projects seem to be coming out on their own blockchains instead of using even Cardano or VET or Algo. They're just saying, you know, screw it. We're just going to throw our own blockchain up here and we'll run everything on it. And we don't have to rely on these other rail systems in order to do it. Because ETH right now, all it is gas. I mean, that's the only reason you buy ETH is for gas. So as things progress and as these projects come out, especially on their own blockchain, I think it's going to severely diminish the ETH ecosystem. I think it's going to severely diminish a lot of these other ones. And when you just mentioned, you know, all these stores and things like that coming out with their own tokens, they're going to be running, they're going to have their own blockchain. They're going to run their corporation on their own blockchain, and they'll issue their own tokens. And where the programming is going to get interesting and where people can take advantage of this, I think, is going to be with these cross-chain aggregators that can seamlessly, quickly, and easily change the ABC token into Bitcoin, or change the Macy's token instantly into a Gala token, you know, right off the bat, without hesitation, without problem, and give it instant use. If they can get to that point, I think it's going to be tremendous for society.
Okay, let's stop there, because I don't want to get too far before I answer some things. Yeah, I totally expect Ethereum to fall by the wayside eventually, but one thing that they do have is first mover advantage, and they have a lot of rich people interested in them. Rich people tend not to be mercurial. They tend to really throw their weight behind something to make it win, to make it work. And all of Ethereum's deficiencies can be made up through its current process of changing how it works. The question really is that I think you might be bringing up is how quickly it can happen. Can other cryptos pop up and be useful faster before Ethereum can change? And you know, if Ethereum got more dynamic and changeable, I think it would be better. I think the ultimate coin that may win out, which is, I think the rich people are always looking for the set of coins that will win out, will be one that is very, very, very flexible, and the developers can change the most fundamental parts of these coins and how they work. I mean developers like smart contract developers or something like that, people who build upon this system. As a result, you're going to get a coin that's very, very abstract. It's going to look like nothing, and it's going to say nothing, and it's going to do nothing. And then people are going to be like, why do I want this coin that does nothing? Well, in my opinion, Holochain is probably the closest coin for that, because Holochain, literally, if you go into it, it's like, what's it do? Well, it's just really just makes it so you can use CPU cycles to run any program. It's really like the smart contract facilitator almost. So it's I think you're going to see more coins turning into something like Holochain, and that's going to be the real winners. But those real winners aren't going to happen for a while, and they're gonna have to compete with Ethereum. It might be, if we use Holochain as an example, that a coin that builds upon Holochain becomes the number one coin, and then Holochain might always kind of be this background protocol. We're forgetting that this crypto revolution that we're in right now is yet just the first step. Again, using the LAN example, we have the hardware layer, we have the protocol layer, we have the program running layer, and so on. These upper layers of crypto are not yet built, and in about 20 years, I think we're going to be looking back, going, "Oh my God, people actually bought Ethereum. That's like a low level protocol layer. We buy this thing that builds on Ethereum, or we use this thing that builds upon the thing that builds on Ethereum." So there's so much that's unfinished with crypto right now that it's really hard to tell the winners and losers. To that matter, I don't believe that there's anything. I don't believe that coins are shit coins. They're just coins that don't work out, or they might copy another coin. You can have a coin that copies other coins that becomes more successful. It just depends on who's behind it. So in that sense, you can have shit coins that'll completely become the main coin after a while. Dogecoin, it's a shit coin. They stopped developing it, and then Dogecoin started going through the roof. Guess what? The band got back together, and they're starting to do more Dogecoin development. Now Dogecoin is probably going to be able to, have bells and whistles and wash your dishes too after a while. Dogecoin could become the winner of the coin war because it has the name brand recognition, and it eventually gets a team. So, watch out. Any shit coin can become the coin. It just depends on who wants it, who runs it, who develops it, in my opinion.
Well, you've got to have adoption for it too, though. There's got to be a reason to use it over something else.
Well, yeah, that's part of it.
So the popularity game, does play a part of it, absolutely. And I think with the development for where we're at right now, I think is going to be that cross-chain functionality, to be able, instead of coming up with new technology right off the bat, layering like you're saying, but finding a way to integrate the layering between protocols is going to be the first step. Because right now, I just, as I was spouting off at you last night, it's a ridiculous pain in the ass to get on the Polygon network. But once you're there, wow. I mean, it's 100 times easier. And I'm finding that I've been poking around the Binance Smart Chain, same thing. It's a pain in the ass to get there, but once you get there, it's fantastic. So how do you get rid of the PETA part? How do you get rid of the pain in the ass part? I think that's where you're going to see a lot of development in the future.
In the next few years, in my opinion.
My fun little pet project, Thorchain, there has just hit the tip of the iceberg with that, in that that was the first place you could go with any token and instantly get native Bitcoin with it in a DEX environment. And it was native. There's no wrapping, there's no anything. And it was for pennies to make that transfer. And that was huge. And several of these other DEXs grabbed that technology. Thankfully, they made it open source, so anybody could integrate that into their platform. Those types of things, I think, is where you're going to see the development really, really starting to take off. And with, they call it now, they say, utility token or whatever it might be. Well, I think these utility tokens that give the ability to make those cross-chain transactions, whether it's a smart contract, whether it's just transferring one token to another, or even managing inventory. Or I know VeChain uses a lot of that background technology and uses VHTO as or VTHO, I can't remember which one it is, to power Walmart's inventory. So you can track on VeChain when your roll of toilet paper was in Arkansas and where it's going and how it gets there and every step along the way. But you've got to be able to get that off VeChain in order to do anything more substantial with it. So I think closed ecosystems is going to become a problem. And a lot of the projects that we're looking at are that closed ecosystem. You have Holochain, like you mentioned, which is, you know what, if you've got an application, doesn't matter what it is, throw it on here. It'll automatically integrate with anything else on our platform. So they're one step ahead of that cross-chain problem that they have now.
So it's important to recognize that a lot of the stuff that you're seeing with coins has already appeared in the world as company-mediated products. And when you're talking about Holochain in particular, I would compare that to Microsoft Azure, or a part of Microsoft Azure. Basically, or let me just back up even further and just say that it's more like cloud computing. We have Amazon for cloud computing. A couple of the big players are Amazon and Microsoft and Google, and a couple of them are those three. So all this cloud computing stuff is great. You can do everything you want, and it's marrying together a lot of things that you'd have to do manually in one easy platform. But it's run and managed by that one company, either Amazon or Google or Microsoft, and you have to have an account with that company. You have to spend so much money to get all those things. And when cloud computing came out, I was, one of the first consumers of it, and I reaped the benefits. And boy, it made my life so much easier because I didn't have to do this, I didn't have to do that, I didn't have to do this. All the coins are doing right now, in my opinion, is they're taking cloud computing to a much more independent level, to where it's not Microsoft or Amazon that's running things. That has its own problems as far as politics, but the point is, what I like about Holochain is it's now you can not only be your own bank, but you can be your own Amazon, AWS. You could be your own Microsoft Azure. That's what I really like about that kind of coin. I think after a while, all these coins are going to start merging. They're going to start taking on features of the other coins. And that's when you're really going to see some falling off. So let's just say that the top 10 coins right now stay at the top 10. They're going to have to get privacy features. They're going to have to get cloud computing features. They're going to have to get all sorts of features. Bitcoin must be built upon to be more relevant. It might be that Bitcoin stays a layer 1 solution and another coin uses Bitcoin better, and that coin is worth more eventually, because it will be worth more. Whenever you think about any way that these coins work together, look at how we're already doing it, and then you can see where the coins are going to go. So yeah, there's totally going to be people that are going to fill in all those gaps. I've been a gap filler for 25 years in my job. I see things and I glue them together with my code. Ooh, I have a database over here. Ooh, I have manually gathered information over there, or a manually gathering mechanism right here. Let's quilt those two things together. Bang! All I've done is I've just filled a gap between the database and collecting user information. Coins are going to do that, but in a much less company-centric way. Let's hope that it doesn't become a religious way, like, oh, I'm religiously for Polkadot, or I'm religiously for Ethereum. We call those maximalists. And I'm hoping that the maximalists don't rule the day, because that's going to turn coins into political instruments, which probably will happen as well. You'll probably have a conservative coin and a liberal coin, I'm sure.
Well, yeah, and that's what I was talking about before. They're trying to pigeonhole, and they're trying to make these closed ecosystems and pit ETH against Polkadot, against Cardano, against a lot of these. I think that's where you're going to bump into it. And I will say this, because I'm not the world's biggest fan of XRP, okay? But I will say this about XRP having the advantage that we're talking about right now is that their XRPL is open. You can do pretty much anything on their platform, which is comparable to the Holochain. And that I think is going to be a huge advantage because when you go to compete, these closed ecosystems like Polkadot, they're last I looked, I don't remember, and I don't even remember if it was Polkadot. One of these ETH competitors, they have a certain language you have to program in to get things to work on that system. And XRP doesn't have that. They have different ways that you can integrate and just use their network and use their rails to accomplish what you want to accomplish.
They have
That's
APIs.
I don't know the technicals, but I remember because I saw this commercial. It said, write your own. I think it was Cardano. It was, you don't have to be a blockchain expert to write your first smart contract. Try one here now. And there's like a little forum you can go to, and they have people who will help you, but they want you to get used to building in their language.
Oh,
and show you how easy it is.
There's going to be a Visual Basic for coins.
And so my point being is that's a closed system right now. I don't know if they plan to make it open, but I think chains like and again, using the term chain openly, but that XRP chain type layer that they have being so open that you can kind of do what you want on it's going to give them a huge advantage.
The XRPL that you're talking about is a protocol. Sorry, you have two things there. You have an API and then you have a protocol. Using the API automates a lot of things for the protocol and makes things easier. Or you can connect to the Interledger protocol yourself and just do protocol calls. It depends on what kind of programmer you are. What XRP has to its advantage, in my opinion, is they're focusing on one thing and doing that one thing well. In the case of XRP, it's simply to transfer payments. That's it. That's what their API does. It's just making sure things get from point A to point B. XRP is not trying to make a smart contract layer. That's for somebody else to build upon. And of course, we have somebody else building upon that now, which is like Flare. Flare is building a smart contract layer onto various coins. And I'm sure that there are others, I can't think of any right now, but I'm sure that there are others that are probably building upon XRP as well. I think people have problems with coins because of their assumptions of that coin. And you might have a problem with XRP as to the way it's handled, but they're just doing one thing. That's it. They're not trying to be the everything coin. I think that'll work out well for them. And I think that's probably why I'm starting to call XRP the airdrop coin. You're getting airdrops of everybody who's going to be working with XRP's little system. That's great. I want more of that. That's why I'm getting Flare, because Flare is building on XRP. I'm getting, there's about 5 or 6 coins now, I think, that are going to be sending XRP holders coins. It just depends on how you do it.
You take okay, your XRP, which is your focusing on your payments, right? But you can put anything on that layer. You can put remittances, you can put loans, you can put just about anything on there. It's basically a better way, I think, to put it would be a transfer of value blockchain. And those validators are there. I think they're up to like 160, 170 validators now. That is just there to validate whatever it is you're putting on there. Whereas you have a closed system like your ETH or your ADA, which is just your smart contracts, they're transferring value, but in a different way. And I think that the use cases for those, where you come up with your project, you want a token to have the utility to be able to automatically pay your electric bill and interact with your crypto wallet
That doesn't
to
even
make
sound
that
like a
happen.
crypto thing. That sounds like a layer 3 solution, like a
Okay,
company needs to
so
build.
right, I'm just trying to come up with an example. So if you wanted to have that payment token, you could take it to any of the blockchains that are available, and you can make that happen. You can find a collateral token just about anywhere to use for that transaction, and it gives the merchant, the power company, the ability then to take that asset in fiat, in Bitcoin, in XRP, in anything at all, and you can build that based on that network. Now, the problem that I see is having the option, what layers, what protocols, what tokens, what mechanisms give you the ability to have that broad set of options to take your payment in. And I think that's really where it's going to end up being the difference between your open systems and your closed systems. You have to, on Cardano, you have to trade a certain way, and you're going to end up with your ADA. With XRP, it's going to be, you can put a second layer on and just have XRP be the collateral token, which is fantastic, but there's still a different way to use the XRP token versus you're kind of stuck having an ADA token that you then have to do something with in that system. Whereas XRP gives you that flexibility. I know AMP does that. My buddy AMP, I love that token. It gives merchants the ability to take it. If they don't want it, they don't even have to like crypto. They just have to have the payment terminal that connects to their bank, because once that token is there, the merchant can set it up to automatically convert it to fiat and send it right into their bank instantly. So again, flexibility is where I think this whole crypto sphere needs to go. I hate seeing these projects that come up with, do it our way. It's on here. Here's your smart contract, shows up in your wallet. Great. Then you got extra steps. If you automate that, it makes it 100 times easier.
It will. That's what I'm optimistic about. That's what all my utopian descriptions are about, is people building on these coins. Again, I keep saying that we're extremely early. This is like 1994, with the internet. Back in 1994 with the internet, if you wanted to search to find something, you had to go find something that used the Gopher protocol. You had to you didn't have a Google, you didn't have anything else. You had to use a Gopher, and the Gophers weren't even that good because I believe they depended upon different nodes, and each node would kind of index a small area, and those nodes were doing the work.
Yeah, you had to go. I remember that you had to go to the colleges, and the colleges had all the different Gopher nodes that you could go look at. And if you couldn't find it on one, you had to go to the next one. That's kind of a blast from the past. Holy cow.
And, and now we're talking about nodes for coins, nodes for running games. Well, with Google, you don't have to worry about a node. So let's talk about a Google for coins. Right now we have, I know that I'm running a Gala node, which will run a Gala game, and I'm running a holochain node called a Holoport. It might be that the Google in the future connects Holo nodes with Gala nodes, with Ren nodes, with Ethereum nodes and Bitcoin nodes, and it manages all that. I'll just say it manages the common things that are needed. Maybe you need to move things between the nodes. Maybe you need to do some specialized minting or something. It just does it. That's the Google in the future.
Well, but
And
you don't want it centralized like that, because if Google takes a shit, then all those nodes don't talk to each other.
well, the whole point of coins is so that the thing is decentralized. You can make a decentralized node manager. That's pretty easy.
Right?
I mean, the concept is easy. As far as the doing it, that's probably pretty hard. But, you know, a decentralized node manager, I mean, yeah, great. That's going to be when you know things have changed. And I think that time is at least 10 years off, 10, 15 years off, because these coins have to develop themselves. And so when we're in I'm 50 now, so I think when we're in our 60s and 70s, then we're going to be like, oh my God, remember when we would just buy these coins? Who buys the coins now? We buy
Who spends $28 to buy a coin?
Yeah. And what we're going to say, I think what we're going to say in the future is, what nodes do you have? Well, I'm running a Google node here, and this Google node hits most of the coins that I want, most of the coins that I like. It's not that not that having the coins will be a bad idea. It's just that it won't be as necessary. So, I mean, if you have Bitcoin, it'll still be worth a lot of money, but you may have something that manages that for you. Remember, automation always manages the previous managers, and coins, in a way, they are managers. As a result, the jobs are going to increase in, let's just say, the blockchain management area. The more managing of coins you have, the more jobs will be for the managing of those managers. Okay, guys, that was a lot to digest in this episode. I'm going to cut this and have the rest next week.